Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Planescape Torment. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that it chose to join me today here in front of the Great Foundry, I think it's called. As we, well, do something
the
before...
air is quite bracing here.
Do something before we go in there. So, last episode we actually had to kill a few innocent people, including some Harmonian officers. And I've looked up who I need to give, I'm going to show you, who I need to give this scroll over here, this one over here, the scroll of evidence. Who do I, oh, sorry, this one over here, incriminating Byron Pickett, who I need to give it to. It's this guy over here, and I wouldn't have guessed, to be honest. Let's have a chat with him. You see Corvus the Harmonium guard. He smiles as at your approach and gives you a slight bow. Hello, friend. I hope you are doing well. Yeah, how are you and Karina doing? Oh, we are doing well, thank you. I owe you for your kindness. Yeah, I have some questions. So, do excuse me. Do you know someone named Byron Pickett? He frowns and nods his head. Yes, I'm familiar with Byron. I have evidence that that proves he is involved in criminal acts here in Sigil. He looks at you with interest. Oh, may I see this evidence? Yeah.
Updated my journal.
He examines the papers thoroughly, then folds them and puts them away. He nods to you and smiles. Excellent work, citizen. These documents are quite detailed in their content. I personally will see to it that Byron is taken before the courts. And he salutes you and then turns to leave. I shall return shortly. All right. He soon returns and smiles at you. The deed is done, he says. The picket has been removed from the streets. The evidence has been presented to the courts, and soon he will stand trial. He gives you a slight bow again. Once again, I thank you. Well, thank you. I must be going now. Farewell. So there we go. That's that quest completed. I am, I'm really not sure if that was actually a completed quest or not. So these are all for Merryman. We got that's not it. We got Juliet's love life. Then we have the Vargoyles. Oh man, we still have that one over there. Yanis, Rauk. Return Mertwin's head to his body. Yeah, that was, well, it's not here, that quest. We do have this one, which means we now can go over here. At long last. At long last. This is a weird place, because you can't get in. You need to talk to that guy like this. So, yeah, I'm here to pick up an order. Yes, sir? May I see your receipt? Yes. Thank you, sir. The clerk you seek holds office on the southern wall of the foundry. Thank you for your patronage. And he opens the gate for you. Oh, we're gonna see Ravel Puzzle Well pretty soon, I would think. I mean, now we need to find the portal, which can be a little bit problematic. Should I talk to these guys? Please keep the courtyard clear, sir. Either inside or outside. Alright. I'm outside then. I'm in the courtyard. How is that gonna keep it clear, though? Ah, well. I don't really know. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe he wasn't saying... Maybe he wasn't saying, like, you stick to either inside or out. He just say, keep it clear both inside and outside. Not either. But I suppose either can be used in those terms. So here we are. Oh, very noisy place. The Foundry. Let's see what this is all about. Okay. Foundry worker. Oh, my back is aching, says that guy. Oof. Hey, man. You see a drab hiver hauling crates around. You can tell this poor sod's sex. What do you want from me, he asks. Just a couple of questions. Ask away. So who are you? Why? You in with the takers? Already pay my taxes. The takers? Who? You know, the taxman of the city? What are you, clueless? I have to get back to work. Yeah, I am. But I can ask more things. So... Nah, I was just being curious, you know, being friendly. I don't really have time to be friendly, especially with the yard boss looking over the shoulder. We're busy these days. How about I just tell you I can be friendly when this project's done? Yeah, alright. Can I ask you some other questions? What are you doing here? I'm making my daily wage, working to improve myself, keeping this place clean, making sure the material gets to the smiths when they need it, making sure the finished project gets wherever it's supposed to go. In short, my job. So your job is basically cleaning up and grunt work? Yeah, if you want to look at it like that. Since I'm learning this Godsman's creed, Screed? Yeah, sure. I figure it's a test of stubborns. I look at my whole life as a test of stubborns. Why not look at it as a test of smarts and just walk away? Walk away to what? Who's gonna hire me? Systems made sure I'm not fit for other kinds of labor except menial because I was born into the hive. Hells, I'm happy to have made it this far. Unless you can get me a better job than this, I'm happy where I am. Better than starving to death. Oh, please, you can do anything if you put your mind to it, right? This is actually kind of dangerous to entice him to do, but let's be a little bit more sympathetic. That's convincing, but don't you think you could do it better? Well, I'll tell you what. You live your life, and I'll live mine, right? I have to go back to work. And he turns away and goes away. So who's your boss? Why, you work for him? Are you kidding? One of the most rotten bastards it's ever been my misfortune to run across. And I grew up... It's the smoke in here, I apologize. I'm in character here. And I grew up in the hive amidst some real winners. Hope he gets killed soon. Painfully and horribly. But then, most of us yard workers do. Oh, most of you will hope for that? Yeah. I'm sorry. Let's see if this guy says the same thing. He probably does. They're probably all the same, yeah. Okay, so they're all actually very smart people who are working here because... maybe I should talk to the Godsman. Yeah? What? Hurry it up. I'm busy here. Who are you? What I am is too busy to stand around gabbing with folks. You got a purpose here? Well, yeah. Yeah? What? Hurry it up. I'm busy here. Who are you? Anyway, where can I find the clerk's office? Now, you see that room down there with a desk in it and the old guy sitting behind it? That's the clerk's office. And the clerk's sitting in there. You need anything else, or can I get back to work? Where's your supervisor? You can usually find her down by the clerk's office watching us. Hell, it's her job, but I can be trusted to do it. Well, if you could be trusted to do it... No, I guess... Nah, well, a supervisor is really not just making sure everybody is trustworthy, but sure. What do you do around here? Oh, I sit around with my feet up all day. Look, I don't mean to be rude, but it's fairly obvious what I'm doing here. I'm forging still work, and I don't get back to it soon. And if I don't get back to it soon, I'll have to start over. All right. I just thank you. Oh, so long. See you later, man. I really didn't need to say goodbye to him, I think, but still. Okay, so we have foundry workers all over the place. We have Elisa Tild over here. Let's have a chat with her. You see a short woman with slight horns in her in her forehead and ears that curve sharply back on her skull. She smells faintly of sulfur, even over the reek of the foundry's fire. Greetings. What can I do for you? Who are you? I'm Elisa Tild, supervisor of this area. This area being the main foundry area of the Great Foundry, where much of our current public work takes place. The foundry is larger than this, of course, but we have a large contract we're working on, and we've been sworn to secrecy, so most of the work area is off limits. My apologies. Off limits? Interesting. Okay, I had some questions. Let's go... Man, there's a lot of things in here. So, what's going on here? Oh, we've taken a huge and very, very secret contract on that is, one that is taking up practically all of our resources. We maintain a smaller operation for the day-to-day items for our other orders, but right now the foundry is devoted to fulfilling our contract. Don't bother asking about it because I won't tell you. Okay, you seem very firm about this. So, what exactly do the Godsmen stand for? Well, this is both a communal and individual faction, and there are variations on the theme depending on whom one speaks with. But the basic gist of it is that life, nay, all existence itself, is a test of sorts. All things that arise test us, and how we react determines how we move closer to the true understanding of everything. We seek the truth behind the multiverse, and it's apparent to us that ours is the right way. How do I join? Go speak to Keldor of Durian in the meeting hall, through the door on the right wall. Okay, thank you very much. I would like a tour. Ordinarily, there's nothing I'd like better. Sadly, right now we're a little busy. Come back in a year or so, and I'll be happy to provide one. What's going on? Okay, so she goes back to, it's gonna take a year. Okay. Where can I get those items to, work the forge? If you can't find them lying around somewhere, then I'll have to buy them from the clerk. Or you'll have to buy them from the clerk. For a nominal price, of course. Yeah, okay. So, I need to pick up something from the clerk. Where is he? I know where there is. I need to get in that guarded room back there. I'd love to help you, but only the real high-ups can authorize that. You'd have to speak to Keldor about that. Oh, that looks like we have a path for that, then. I need to use the forge. Certainly. Just make sure you have the proper items for it. Oh, that explains what the other one was. What the other question was all about. So, yeah, I'm looking for a way out. Look back that way. You see the long tunnel there? Simply walk through it, and you'll find yourself at the main gate. Well, thank you very much. I'll see you later. Okay, so I suppose this is for the, Oh, it's locked? For the office? This one is locked as well. And Elise is going around, making sure everybody's working. We do have a lot of noise. A lot of noise. We got Godsman, we got... It might be this wall, though, then. Yeah. Well, it may be. Okay, a little bit more peace and quiet. Just a tiny little bit. Okay, we got Godsman, we got Sarosa. Let's have a chat with her. You see a young woman as you approach her. Her eyes stare directly into yours. You get the uncomfortable feeling that she's not just examining your eye color. Her gaze seems to penetrate far deeper than that. Greetings, stranger. How goes your day? Actually, examining the hair... Did I say hair color? Eye color. The eye color of somebody that you're talking to is actually a very good way to seem that you're interested in them, or in what they're saying anyway. Yeah, well enough. I would like to do. I'd like you to answer some questions for me. What answers do you seek, Halfman? Well, Halfman?
Dated my journal.
I call you Halfman because I cannot see your spirit. All other mortals who pass through my life shows their spirits to me as a shining spark or a smoldering ember. You show nothing at all. I call you Halfman because I cannot see your spirit as I see those of others. Whether this is because you have no soul or because you have transcended, I cannot say. One way or another, you are but half a man. The other half is... Or what the other half is, I cannot say. Okay. Then answer some questions then. Who are you? I am Sarosa, daughter of Sandoz, one of the factors of the Godsman. Tell me of your family. My brother Saros is a child of the foundry, yet I fear he has never embraced the philosophy of the believers of the source. My father is a factor here, and his travels have led him far from the foundry and into realms most mortals never even dream of achieving. Tell me more about your brother. Saros is a brash, impulsive lad, easily given over to his manhood. He is eager to prove himself equal of anything on the plains, full of the aggression of youth. I believe he feels himself more sensate than Godsman, further vindicating my belief that the sensates are the most immature of all the factions of Sigil. Why? Why are they the most immature? Because, like children, they do not understand that there is more beyond the world of the senses, beyond what one can see, hear, taste, touch, smell. Look around you. You are in the outer planes. This is belief made solid. But that does not mean the seemingly rough matter can be comprehended by the senses. This is belief. No mere physicality, then no more? Oh, no mere physicality can match it. Yeah. This is, yeah. I'm not really sure how that goes with a lore. But yeah. Let's speak of other matters then. I think I could actually ask her something else. No, I couldn't. I'll see you later then. Okay. So we have the way up, over through there, and this one is not locked. Got a bunch of smiths in here. And Keldor over there.
Done.
And Saros back there as well. I'm gonna talk to Saros. Hey Saros, I heard you like your masculinity and all of your masculine traits and all that. You see a sandy-haired youth. He's on the cusp between adolescence, I think that's how it's pronounced, and adulthood. And from his eyes, it looks like he's trying to be as adult as possible without having the slightest idea how. In other words, he seems innocent. Hey, stranger, what can I do for you? You could answer some questions for me. Yeah, ask whatever you want. Tell me of yourself. Me? I'm Saros. I grew up around here. Got to run through the foundry, playing with stuff. I like pretty much everyone here except Fildon. He keeps saying I'm not raised right and that my father is a poor parent. All I know is that Fildon's the biggest sod I've ever met. Yeah, well, whatever. What about the Great Foundry? I grew up here. I played in the main foundry area and ran through the barracks. It stinks and it's loud and people can be like Fildon, but it's still home for me. Okay. It's interesting. It's almost like a city within a city. But then again, we did find the buried village. That was kind of like that as well, although it was buried. What about the people here? They're smiths and workers. I think they mean well, but they're also eager and or also earnest and boring. They need to liven themselves up a bit, like say the sensates. Oh, you like the sensates, huh? Yeah, they know how to live life. They know what it's all about. Not like these people. They keep pretending there's some big noble purpose to it all, but I don't see it. My sister says that life is more than our senses show, but I don't see how she knows that, since all she knows is through her senses. I just don't get why people make this stuff up. Oh, you stupid little brat. Oh, you idiot. Well, actually, I shouldn't be harsh on him. He has a very good point. Well, I say he has a point anyway, up until then. Right there. And then he says, I just don't get why people make this stuff up. And then that means, oh boy. So basically his philosophy here is more, it's actually very, very clear realism? Wait a minute, experimentalism? Experimentalism, I believe. But experientialism is, anyway, the sensates. It's very, very clear cut of the sensates' philosophy. But the problem with the sensates' philosophy is that they are kind of, it's very much what he says. It's very much this thing, because all you know is through your senses. And at first glance, or after deliberate thought, you could make the case that since all you know is either through your senses or has been born with you, which that's actually a different sort of philosophy. But at any rate, the problem is, can you know anything without actually sensing it? And that's more with a definition of truth than anything else. So basically, imagine you sense somebody's shadow, right? I mean, you see somebody's shadow. I'm saying sense, but you see somebody's shadow. Then you know that somebody is there, but you don't actually know that, do you? You kind of deduce. Now, the problem with drawing a very direct line in that deduction sort of thing, in that these guys are saying that deduction is not knowing, is just, you kind of know. It's not really knowing, because you've never seen things, or the people that's casting that shadow. You just know that there's a shadow there. You don't know that there's a person there. But the problem with drawing that line right there is this. I just don't get why people make this stuff up. Because the thing is, you also don't know if you're seeing the shadow. Your senses can lie to you. And this is empirically... And it's not just... The problem is not even just the senses. It's even your memories can lie to you. Even your brain. And it's all a big mess. It's all made up. The shadow... You're not seeing the shadow. You're seeing photons that project into your eye. And you're not even seeing that. You're seeing the electrical signals that your... Amygdala? No, it's not the amygdala. No, it's not. It's definitely not the amygdala. It's some part of the back of our head that processes the photon information, and then you're seeing that. So you're not. It's like it's so many layers between the person, because you have the person and you. Because you have the person, you have the shadow of the person, then you have the photons that go through you or through your eyes, and then you have your the back of your brain processing all that sort of stuff. So the problem is casting this. Making people... Everything is made up. That's the thing. Everything is in our heads. Everything is just processing of things. And much like you process the fact that the shadow is there, which means that there must be somebody there, you also process that you got photons to your eyes, so that therefore there must be a shadow there, because otherwise the photons wouldn't catch up to you. So it's all, it's where it's not a decisive... it's an arbitrary definition of what constitutes... what you get through your senses, basically. Everything. You get nothing through your senses, that's the thing. you get some stuff through your senses, but all you know is in your head. So I'm very much against his, at least in my understanding, I'm very much against his perspective. But yeah, who's your sister? Sarasa? She can just look at someone and see what needs adding and what needs taking away. I don't know how she sees it. My father always said it was something about her ascending to another level. He said she was born Godsman. Well, I suppose that might be a thing, actually. It's interesting because she would be... I feel that she would be a very important person in here if she can see souls. Unless, of course, other people can see souls as well. Yeah, but I'll see you later, I guess. Let's have a chat with Keldor. And join these guys, because why not? You see a sturdy man who looks like he's just bursting with vitality. His face is tanned and lined, and his black beard is beginning to show hints of white. Hail, stranger, and well met. What can I do for you this fine day? I'd like to ask you a few questions. What did you want to know? Who are you? He smiles broadly. My friend, I'm Keldor of Durian, one of the factotums of the Godsman, and nominally in charge of this place while our true higher-ups are gone in conclave. Okay, I had some other questions. What can you tell me about this place? Oh, this is the great foundry, home to the believers of the Source, also known as the Godsmen. Here we make items that ship all over the planes. We're renowned in many worlds, only the best work here. It's said that we have got a staff of smiths that rival those in Mount Clangadin itself. Personally, I don't think we're that good, but we are close. Can you take on additional work? Sadly, friend, we cannot. We're engaged in a long-term contract right now that's taking up most of our resources. Perhaps when we've finished, in a matter of years. My apologies. Okay. What can you tell me of the people here? Well, we've got a wide range of folks here, most of whom are the smiths and the workers who keep this place running. We've also got a pair of engineers who are doing some incredible things with the fabric of reality. Ask Nihil Xander about his dream builder someday. Yeah, I will. Tell me about your faction. Oh, gladly. What did you want to know? Well, what are the beliefs of this faction? Well, we believe that the universe is a giant testing ground, a place where we prove ourselves through a series of tests. These tests continue throughout your life, throughout your many lives. Each step in each day may well be a test for you, and your reward in the next life depends on how well you learn your lesson in this life. We believe that a body learns from experience, and that experience extends through your lives, making you into something greater than just a single life. That makes sense, I guess. Keep going. So, life is a test. We take the test. When we pass, we move on to a new form. This might be the form of an archon, of a fiend, or of a true power, or of a power, he says. The choices we make in this life, as always, help chart our course. Whether we have free will or not is still under debate. He smiles. Of course, I'm on the side of the free will people. I hate thinking that my choices have already been made for me. There's actually very famous quote about if you believe something because you want to believe that, then that's not good. He readily admits that he's on the side of the free will people because he wants to believe that. He says he hates thinking that my choices have already been made for me. Now, this false dichotomy over here is quite common, actually, on the side of people who defend free will. And I'm pretty sure that in a state like this, or actually in this world, maybe in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, the people do have free will, because of course that's a matter of physics. It's a matter of scientific discovery of what constitutes our process of thinking, and because free will is part of our process of thinking, either through its existence or through its inexistence. It's still of that realm of thought and of debate. So. The thing is, it's not a philosophical thing. It's not a philosophical debate. It's a scientific thing, and we need to study the brain and all how it works and all that sort of stuff, and determine whether there is such a thing as free will. Of course, maybe before that, there's another question: is there such a thing as consciousness? Are we actually conscious, or are we just the consequence of something that happens? Or is are we? When I say are we, is consciousness just a consequence of something that happens, rather than the cause of something that happens? And that would define, if you answer that question, maybe it will define free will, or maybe it won't. But at any rate, the problem with the false dichotomy over here is that the absence of free will doesn't actually mean that your choices have already been made for you. And actually, in our current world, it definitely wouldn't mean that, because despite what Einstein and many scientists believed at first, and then they changed their mind, or at least Einstein did, because of who was it? Oppenheimer? No, wait a minute. That's Heisenberg. Was it Heisenberg? I think it was Heisenberg. Heisenberg, the first, the guy. Was it Heisenberg? The guy that made quantum, or that first theorized quantum probability. Anyway, basically quantum physics, which is empirically testable and all that sort of stuff. It shows that nothing is set in stone. Basically, on the most fundamental level, matter doesn't actually react in predictable ways. You can't tell. It's a probability thing. So you can kind of predict, but it's always a probability thing. In great quantity, so basically if you have a lot of matter and interacting with each other, you can predict accurately, and with it's impossible for it to change. It's impossible for it to not be according to your calculations, even with the probability, because the probabilities work on a quantum level. That's why it works like that. But the problem is regarding very tiny interactions, it's not quite like that, and you can have two particles that, given exactly the same conditions, and this is the crazy bit. This is why Einstein didn't believe it, and other people as well. Given the same conditions, two particles can interact in different ways. And you can say, oh, then it's not the same conditions. No, it is, and that's the issue. That is why it's so crazy, because it's a probability thing. So, like 1,000 particles will interact the exact same way, and then another one is going to interact in a different way. So that's the issue here. Just because we may lack free will doesn't mean that the choices have already been made, or that there's only one possibility for the choices that will come in the future. Because that's another thing. Predestined choices. Like because somebody made them, doesn't. That's one thing, but you will only have one future. That's for sure. It doesn't mean that it's set in stone, because of probability. At least that. But anyway, let's continue. Let's see about your factions. Yeah. Tell me of the faction's history. Oh, it's commonly believed that we were founded by Perrin before the Great Upheaval, when all the factions became 15 in number. During the upheaval, Orgi of Fonel tightened the faction's belief into what they are today. She had been reincarnated 1,000 times and couldn't remember each one of her reincarnations. She taught us how to treat our intuition and led us to a new era. These two were the most important figures in our faction. We have plenty more stories, but those are the bare bones. Excuse the actually murdered burp right there. That's interesting. This is a religion, which would, lend credence to he believes that because he wants to believe that. But it's interesting. Anyway, we're out of time for the day, so let's continue learning about the what was the name of these guys? The Godsman? Nah, that's not their official name though. The Believers of the Source. Let's learn about them on the next episode. For now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Planescape Torment. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.